Reporter Alison Madueke. Crude oil production averages 2.3 million barrels per day despite theft. So let's put all this in perspective. Flip to page 10. That's where the story continues, if you will. Well, that'll be with this day today.
Well, The Guardian is next, and the big story with a big picture. Away from Nigeria, let's talk about the picture. Yeah, that's it. Well, Prince Williams and his wife, the Duchess of Cambridge, Catherine with a newborn boy outside the St. Mary's Hospital in London just yesterday. You have to see more on that on page 9 of The Guardian. Now we quickly race back home. Look at the big headline beneath that picture. Senate denies endorsing early marriage law. May pass amendment bill today. Can threatens street protest. Now you look at the start of that story. Contrary to what is believed by some people, the Senate has not amended the Constitution to encourage early marriage. Now, essentially, it has to do with the renunciation of citizenship. There's a quote there. We're ready to revisit it if Nigerians feel strongly about it. End of quote. It continues on page 2. And pockets of other headlines on the right corner here. FRSC probes Patience Jonathan's mother's death. It's on page 3. Electricity consumers protest against outages. High bills. Also on page 3. Well, agreement with ASU can't be implemented, says government. It's on page 5. Well, on top of that picture, government to monitor real-time oil production. Now, set to introduce gas-powered cars.
Interesting.
All right, that's it with The Guardian.
Okay, well, Vanguard is the next one here. Threat to bury PDP. Presidency fires back at 5 northern governors. You want to know what the salvo is? Okay, let's attempt to describe this. Says they can't bury PDP. The party is above them. The governors plan to push out the president, it says. Rivers crisis. Senate committee indicts CP Mbu. That's a page 5 read for you. So that suggests that the committee report is finally out. So you may get a sneak peek, if not the entire thing. Or flip to page 5 of the Vanguard, possibly for that. Recovering from oil theft. Pipeline vandalism may take 20 years. Alison Madueke. The story is on page 9 today. Rivers government, Dixon, Imoke, others commiserate with First Lady over mom's death. That's a page 9 story for you. And then there's also a talk about child marriage here. Some talk about it on page 51 of the Vanguard today. And then new Prince of England, Prince William and Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, showing off their newborn baby boy. You also see that there. Well, that'll be with Vanguard today.
Well, the Nigerian Tribune is next. I actually saw this online yesterday, but now it's making front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Commotion over mermaid in Ibadan. Ooh. Yes, you know, the one in local parlance they call Mami Water, you know. Oh. Well, actually, they had a picture of it. Well, the fish seller who found the mermaid, top right, and the crowd which gathered to have a glimpse of the object in Ibadan. You have to look at page 4 for the particular story, how she found in a carton of frozen fish, a fish with what looked like a pair of human legs attached to that particular fish. Yes, in Ibadan. That's the story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Well, police arrest a Boko Haram member in Ogun. It's on page 2. I fled Maiduguri to evade arrest. That's according to the suspects. Well, agreement with ASU impossible to implement. That's the federal government. Story on page 2. Patience Jonathan devastated over death of foster mother. Is on page 47. And Ekiti PDP suspends Fayose. Suspending me is like suspending PDP in Ekiti, he says. Well, so it's on page 12. Well, I'm sure this will be an interesting one. And of course, bad money. CBN retains 50% public funds in commercial banks. Well, that'll be it with the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, so what a lineup of some papers there for you. So just decide whichever one you want to see might as well be interesting. Well, we're back in just a moment here. Do join us again. All right, then, welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We'll be continuing, I should say, on constitution amendment. Of course, so many perspectives to it, not just the controversial bit. Collins Okeke joins us there. He's a legal practitioner. Morning, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much.
I mean, watching from the sidelines about how all of this is going on, I mean, this is your tools of your trade. So that's one wonders. What do you all really see in terms of what goes on? But from what you've seen and heard, how interesting or disinteresting is it for you?
Well, I would like to begin by pointing out three things. The first thing is that Section 29(4)(b) has absolutely nothing to do with legalizing child marriage. I think the issue has been overflowed. And then the second thing I would want to also point out is that the true issue, the real issue really is about the nature of constitution we want as a country. Now, whether we want a theocratic state or whether we want a secular one, or whether matters of faith should be contained in the constitution in the first place. And then, for me, the third thing is that I think that the decision taken by the Senate was a very bad one.
On which aspect?
On retaining Section 29(4)(b). Section 29(4)(b).
On the renunciation of citizenship?
Yes.
Why?
The reason being that the way it is now, that section conflicts with Section 10, which prohibits state religion, and Section 42, which talks about discrimination. Now, why do I say this? Now, let me start with the discrimination part. Now, if you read very carefully Section 29(4)(b), you will realize that it does two things. One is that it